Welcome back to the show. I'm Jay Stoyan. You're watching Suite 303. And on the show today, we have associate producer Cathy Browne. Cathy, thanks for joining us today.
Now, Cathy, can I ask you this? I always like to ask our guests.
Now, I understand you're piping in all the way from BC. So how's the weather?
Some people like to share, some people don't, and I respect both. I always ask them, what is your
which means that everybody's going to run out the door and be outside because you know what? We haven't had too many of these sunny days lately.
Well, I love British Columbia. It's such a beautiful setting, surrounding region area. The people are great. So again, we have on the show today, we have associate producer Cathy Browne. Cathy's going to tell us all about what's going on at CBC and her career. So Cathy, why don't we get started? Tell us the different hats you wear. Like I know you wear.
You know, it was. I do. Well, you know, I've spent probably 30 plus years of my life in communications and public relations, but I always harbored a real desire to work for CBC. I am a long-time CBC fan, really mostly on the radio side. Radio, I think CBC radio has been that staple for Canadians for decades. And I'm a real big radio fan, and I always wanted to work for CBC. So, at the age of 65, I applied. It's been to join a paid work experience at CBC called CAPE, which is the CBC Bill and Crew Placement for Excellence. And it was in 2019, 3 years ago, almost a 12-week work experience, a paid work experience. And I applied thinking, my chances weren't that great because, you know, I'm older. But you know what? I really got an interview. I got selected. I was one of 10 people that year from across Canada to be part of the program. I worked for CBC Vancouver as a researcher for one of the radio programs, the morning show called Early Edition, and kind of eased very quickly into an associate producer role. And at the end of the 12 weeks, I never really left. And it's almost 3 years later, I still help produce on radio shows. I also am co-chair of our Bill and Crew employee resource group within CBC, and I also help contribute my life experience and kind of gut reactions to helping make our content more accessible. And I also kept my hand in CAPE, and this year will be an official mentor and contributor to the programming. And this year, for the first time, it will be a 6-month program for which I am very, very excited.
Yeah, why don't we focus on CAPE and how we further help promote it, provide opportunities to our community, and just talk more about it, provide people with more information. So please tell us about the organization and how people can get involved.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, CAPE is, as I said, a paid work experience within CBC.
We're going to spread it out.
It is open to people with disabilities across the country. It varies from year to year. This year, the program will run from September to February, and the jobs available are primarily located in Toronto, although we do have an opening in Winnipeg and in Vancouver. And they range anywhere from communications positions, transcription, social media, camera operations within the newsroom floor.
Are these and you're on candidates? Let's just say call them candidates, or do they
And I am
need
on
any
Twitter
type of
and
prerequisite
Facebook.
skill, or
I
can they
have
come in
been
just
on
really
social
green?
media for almost 15 years. So
Well, I think
I
it
have,
always helps to have some
I've got a
background
sizable
in
platform, so,
the
I
area
spread
that
the
you're
word about
applying
Cape
for.
on both
Yeah,
Twitter and
obviously,
Facebook as
obviously.
well.
But
And
there's a lot of
happy to answer
hands-on
questions,
training,
happy to talk about
and
this anytime, because I
a
will
lot
tell
of
you
training as you go.
that
And now
I
that
know
we've got
from
it
personal experience
6
and from
months,
the
I mean, there's a
experience of
lot
other
more
graduates,
opportunity
is
for
this is a
growth
life-changing
and for development
opportunity.
in
It
the area
is
that you're
transformative,
working in.
And
and
how
it
many
is something
positions is
that,
there like available? Do you know
if you've
offhand?
This
got,
year, this
God,
year
I've
there
always
will
wanted
be
to do
8.
something like this.
8 positions.
it.
Yeah.
And is that like
Because
the
You
top
know,
8
even if
cream of the
even
crop
if
sort
you
of
don't
graduate and get the
make
jobs,
the
or
cut
there's only 8
this
positions
time,
to apply for?
there are
your
8
resume
positions
is
to apply
already in
for,
the
but
CBC
you can apply for
bin.
multiple
So I mean,
positions.
you're already one step
And
ahead
then
of
we'll
not having applied at all.
be
So let
conducting
me ask you a couple of
interviews
questions,
and
and then we're
whittle
gonna,
it
and then we're
down
just
to
getting
the candidates
short
for
on time here.
each
But I want
job.
to ask you
Yeah.
3 Yeah, but questions.
Yeah.
Many people as they
do you
want.
think-
Like you can
Oh,
take as many
absolutely.
people in, right?
Just
Just there's only 8 jobs
What does
available.
the
There are 8 jobs
CBC
available,
Okay.
and there'll
What's
be
the
8
CBC's number
candidates who
one
will
need?
be,
Besides
who
viewership, let's say
will
besides viewership,
get
well,
that
they might
position.
not need
But
viewership, I would say.
the other
What
good
do they
thing
need to
about
sort
this
of
is that
upgrade their platform
we
in
also
today's
want to encourage people to apply generally to
I think
CBC if they think there's a
we
job that appeals.
always, and I think
And
that applies
CAPE
to any
is
sort of media,
kind of a vehicle to
outlet,
remind
but I
people
think we
that
always have to be very conscious
uh,
of
accessibility
who our
and
audience is, how they're
inclusion
changing,
is one
how
of the
they're
pillars
how they're
that
receiving
CBC
news, how they're
is
what they even are
really
interested
building
in.
and growing on.
I think we have to
And
be
can you
I
tell our
think we
viewers
have
again
to be
what CAPE stands for?
very, very
Yeah, it's
responsive,
CBC,
and I think we
Electro,
have
which
to be
is
very attuned
the
to the
employee
people that
resource
we,
group,
that we
placements
serve.
for excellence.
And leave it with
Excellent
one.
point. If
And
you had
I'm just
to
asking
give
questions
one
because as soon as
little
we
Ah.
finish,
advice
I'm
to
going to be
somebody
shooting this
breaking
out to
into the
my
media
my
business, what
neighborhood,
would
my
you say to
community.
them?
So
Well, I mean,
and
that's how it happened to me.
Yeah.
Happened, if you're
just
interested
quite accidentally
in something
to
like
see
the
this on
CBC, do
Facebook.
some homework, do some
and how long
And
again is
find
how long
out
again is
find
it?
out
6
what's
months
going
from
It will be
September?
6 months.
You
It will be 6
understand
months this year from
the
September to
organization,
February.
even
This is
if
the
you're
first
not
time
encyclopedic
they're
about
offering
it.
a 6-month program.
Understand
And
what
is it
you want
Monday
to
to
get
Friday?
into and where
Yeah,
you
it's a
think
job.
you'll
It's a
make
job.
the
It's
best
Like
it's
it's 9 to 5.
That's
But I
It's
mean
a-
that like
great
yeah.
advice. I really
So in
It's
order
an actual
to
paid.
you
It's
have
an
an open
actual
invitation.
paid
If
job.
you guys at CBC
well, right
need
from training
any
day
other,
one,
I
it's
guess,
9 to
outreach
5,
regarding
Monday to
accessibility or
Friday.
employment,
Okay, that's good.
ability,
Okay, and it's
disability,
in
please
person or
consider us
online.
your friend, and please do. You can
Well,
come on the
right
platform
now,
anytime. I think what you guys
given
are
our
doing again, it's CAPE.
given the current
So
Give us the
circumstances,
website one more time before I let you go.
I expect it will be a bit of a hybrid still.
Okay.
For example, the last 2 CAPE programs that I've been involved in
That's great, Cathy. Well,
have
thank you again for
pretty
being
well
on
been
the show
virtual
today.
the whole time.
Thank Karen.
So let
for
me
all
ask
the
you,
best.
And it's worked out
And
well.
we will be talking.
So let
to
me ask you
I'm
this,
just
because I
gonna
know
take a
they're
break
going to
and
ask me
wrap
this
the
right
show.
away.
Thanks again, Cathy.
What's the starting
you.
pay? I know they're going to ask me this. My community's going to ask me this.
It'll vary from